Hello, I'm going to tell you a story about an incident that took place while I was sitting in Essex County Jail waiting to go to court in front of the judge. It's about 8 of us in the bullpen. Bullpen is like a big cell with a toilet and a sink. Nothing else. Oh, and a one bench. There's a big heavyset guy that came from prison same time that we was in the same cell with this guy. He looked at me. Said, "Yo, my man, what you locked up for?" I said, "None of your business. You know me?" He said, "No." I said, "Act like you still don't. Don't ask me no question, man. I'll tell you no lie." So everybody started laughing. He said, "Look." He said, "I like you." I said, "I don't like you. What, you gay or something?" He said, "No, my name is Dwight Mason." I said, "I don't care nothing about your name, fool. I ain't asked you your name." I said, "Mind your business like I mind mine." He turned around and said, "Do you know who you talking to?" I said, "I don't care nothing about you, man." I said, "You better not ask me no more about my case. What, you work for the police? What, you a DA agent? Or you just a plain big old rat trying to get some time back, trying to get into my case?" He said, "No." He said, "What it is?" I said, "You got a lot of guts for to be so young." Him not knowing that I'm older than him. I just look young, as I do now. I said, "What it is that he said some dumb stuff. I can't remember exactly his exact words." I said, "Man, if you don't like what I just said," I said, "just stand up." He was laying on the bench. Big old long bench by itself. Everybody else sitting over in the corner talking to him, act like they doing something else. They know him. I ain't know him. Don't even care about whether he is, what he is, what he this, that, or something else. So I said, "Look, man, don't say no more to me. You don't know me. I don't know you. And I don't want to know you." When I said that, he set up. All the guys that was over close to the toilet and the bench, they ran to the other side of the bars. He said, "When you go down and pray in the vent, you do go downstate. You see, you tell everybody that you know Dwight Mason and not to mess with you." I said, "I'm telling God. I know God, and I tell God not to let nobody mess with me because I don't have to hurt nobody." Anyway, make a long story short, when I did go down to prison, he had already told everybody in the prison that I was crazier than him. This boy was really crazy. I come to find out that he was a mass murderer. Went all across the state, cutting up people in body parts and distributing them every way he went. I said, now, I took back and looked at that. I said, I done lost my mind. Or why did I challenge this guy? I said, I'm new to the prison system. I'm new to all these cats. None of these cats know me. And don't you know, that boy was sick for real. He had inmates go in his cell. He'll put them in his cell. He would always put them in a locker that's no bigger than 6 by 8. Had them boys in there all day, all night, till he felt as though they should come out and he should have his way with them. You know what I mean? And it's crazy how this guy took an interest in me as a man and not as a faggot. That's the reason why I say this, is that you have some people in there that don't have no, how do you say? I got to try to say this clean enough so it don't get edited or barred. That they're so sick, caught up in a twisted situation with no hope for release, but yet living day by day. What happened? Look, what happened?
Press the button. It's still recording.
With all things said,
Stop the video.
Huh?
Stop the video.
You know, it's strange to me that that episode was in the jail news all the way across every institution that I threatened a guy that they were afraid of. The system was afraid of him. The turnkeys afraid of him. The prisoners afraid of him. I wasn't. I let it be known. I'm not hide it. I divide it. You mess with me, you're going to get a problem. So with that being said, I'm telling you now, prison is not a good place to be. There's people in there that don't care about whether they live or die. There are people in there that don't care nothing about you. There are people in there that don't care nothing about themselves. Yet at night, we all cry. You can hear people crying all in the middle of the night, all in the middle of the day, for being separated from a natural way of living as a person, as a man, as a father, as a loved one. There's no love in prison. There's no love in you in prison. You come to hate everything and everybody. You want to try to use everything and everybody. Don't be a victim to the onslaught that goes on mentally, physically, unto you or anybody, including myself. I lost myself in there. Then God came into my life and I was able to survive. By the grace of God, not by me, not by man, not by no theory, no proxy, no gang, or none of that. Only by God, I made it through. I did 44 years. I'm still just as strong as I was. I'm more mentally stable than I was. I am more knowledgeable than I was. And I started teaching the truth inside the prison, which is something that's very hard to do. On that note, keep your head up. Stay straight. Be a child. Be a man in a man's place.